Hi guys, it's about 10 o'clock. Yeah, rain. When was the last time we saw that? It's been a while. Well, there is a little rain around. Nothing major. It's very spotty. I just went outside just a couple minutes ago. Very lightly drizzling out there. Nothing major. It's not even anything that will cut down on the drought. However, there is a little bit more rain back into the Worcester region, and then also into portions of Connecticut and Rhode Island. Also into central Connecticut, looks like there's also some pretty good rains as well down there. Some portions of New Hampshire as well seeing a little bit of rain. But that's very light, very scattered in nature. Not anything, that can really do anything here. There was snow today, not in New England, but it was in very close to New England, an area that I cover here for New England when I do my forecast is the Adirondacks. And the Adirondacks did see some snow today, kind of interesting. And then Pennsylvania, out of my region where I forecast, they had some snow as well. So some interesting stuff here, at least in the Northeast region. Really what I'm tracking is this heat. Oh, jeez. Now, here, it's going to be great. I'm telling you, you all are going to love this heat, or this warm. I shouldn't say heat because it makes it sound like summer. It's really not going to be summer around here. It's going to be great around here. If you love 60s and 70s, you are going to love this upcoming week. However, there will be some rain as well that we're going to have to be tracking. It's not going to be all sun, unfortunately, but it will be pretty nice. Now, for me, different story. I'm going to Washington, D.C. Not the greatest place to go, because guess what these regions will be experiencing. Now, for those of you who absolutely love the summer, who are avid summer fans, I know a lot of people who are here in New England. Ironically, we get a lot of cold weather. I don't know. Why are you living in New England if you're like avid summer fans? And these are adults, mind you. I don't know why, but anyway, it's gonna be 80s and 90s down there while I'm there. 86 to 90 degrees while I'm down there. Oh, I couldn't deal with that. I know I couldn't. This early in the year. Forget that business. But I'm going to be doing it anyhow because I already scheduled and everything. But it'll still be a good experience, but it's just going to be so hot. It's going to be so hot though. But but that's okay. But you guys enjoy your 60s and 70s. However, I do know that the southern New Jersey beaches will be absolutely flocked with people. There's that drought. What's going to happen here is this trough that we have. Actually, I'll bring it back here. See this nice trough? Those of us who like winter, like me, this would be a perfect trough in the winter. Even right now, it's nice and cool, for spring. However, guess what? This thing is just going to get eaten away by this high pressure that we have here that's going to go right off the coast of North Carolina, and it's going to just do what it needs to do. It's just going to take this heat and just bring it right in, and it's just going to take this and just put it all away, the cold, the cool weather. You can see what I'm saying here. You can see that the wind flow will be coming in from the southern Atlantic and from the Gulf, which we all know those regions are very warm. So it's essentially air from Cuba and the Bahamas, and that's going to essentially be going right up into our region. So essentially you can see how that goes. But what's going to happen here is the reason why we're not going to get those 80s, nor will we be getting the 90s here in Mass, is because we're going to have, by Sunday, a little bit of rain around here. Clouds will be kind of coming in as well, so we'll be watching out for that. That's the reason why we're not going to be getting into the 80s and 90s like what Baltimore and Maryland are going to be getting, or not Baltimore and Maryland. It's going to be Maryland or the D.C. region. Baltimore is in Maryland. Ugh. Well, you can see there's that high I'm talking about. You can see things will, there's that rain activity, and those gardeners will be rejoicing when they see that there's going to be a potential chance of rain. And it's essentially because there's a cool front. Okay, it's this cool front in here. It's essentially going to become a little bit it's not going to really move too much, which means it might become a little stationary, but I do see a nice soaking potential rain really by next Wednesday. Get ready, or by next Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. I would say get ready for nice soaking rain. This is a GFS model. Essentially, this is what happens. We all know how this thing is going to get eaten away. There's that nice high pressure off the coast, giving us the Bahama-type weather. But also it brings in the chances of some rain as well, and we could be watching out for that. And then, of course, there comes that low pressure area, and it increases the chance of seeing some rains and also cools us down. Portions of New England, if you live north of this 540 line, well, guess what? I could be telling you, you might be getting some snows. Yeah, we're tracking some of that for you. There's a nice little second chance of rain. So we have some nice chances. There's another chance. So we'll be watching out for that. Now, here is the snowfall predictions. Now, I just want to quickly get through this here. Kind of pressed for time here. I want to show you this. This is in portions of Colorado. This is some of the snowfall predictions. Who cares about Colorado, right? Well, this is really where some pretty hefty snowfalls could be coming down, 20 to 25 inches of snow out into portions of the Rockies. Denver will not be seeing snow. However, there is a potential to see some rain and snow into that region. Possibly some snow into portions of Montana and North Dakota and also Nebraska, regions where they've been pretty warm over the past several weeks. Here is that snow that I'm thinking about into portions of Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. Yep, maybe as much as 4, 6, 8 inches into that region of New England. There's some snow into portions of extreme northern Maine, and then after that, maybe another second chance of some snow, and then of course, in the meantime, that's of course it for snowfall, at least up for the next 17 days. And then you can see this is that warm up. This is the European model. There's that warm up. There's those really warm conditions. Can see these. This is really where the warmest of the air is going to be sticking around. It's going to be through D.C., through New Jersey, Long Island, areas like this will really be the core of the heat. This is, as you can obviously see, that's pretty hefty, intense, warm. This is really where the 90s could be potential. And then you can see that kind of moves out. You can see things might cool down a little bit. And then we may talk about another warm-up by next weekend, but we'll have to see about that. Now, talking about the future here, kind of talking about what's going on with temperatures over the next couple months. I know some people are starting to say, oh my God, this is going to be an absolutely hot summer because we're seeing a hot winter. We saw a very warm winter, and then we're seeing a very warm spring. Well, that's not necessarily true, because if you look here, look at this. This is essentially what's going on for the month. You can see that most of the warm weather will be sticking around the coast. Anywhere west of the coast, it looks like you're going to be at to around average for the month of April, which is pretty much true. We've been at to around average this month here into our region. This is May. You can see not much of a difference. You can see generally the same areas are seeing well above average conditions right now. We'll continue to see well above average conditions. And it's then essentially Maine, Mass, and New York coastlines will be seeing the brunt of this, and also portions of Canada as well. Areas away from the coast will be seeing the cooler weather, the at to around average conditions, whether it's just a tad above or just a tad below. And this is for May. You can see, look at that major warm-up, though, into portions of the north, into the northwest. You can also see some pretty cool conditions down into portions of Texas as well. So that's some pretty interesting stuff. Then we have for June, you can see things kind of start really diminishing when it comes in terms of the warmth. You can see still here along the coast generally is where it's going to be above average, but northern Maine, southern Maine, all of New Hampshire, Vermont, western Mass, western Connecticut, a lot of areas will be seeing at to just around average when it comes in terms of temperature, and you can see the whole northern plains seeing above average conditions for June. We work our way into July. Nothing really much changes. Generally all the same. What we're seeing generally through much of the year. You can see around average for at average exactly for August, and then September we're going to be generally at to around average, with the warmest area of the country in September being California. So that's of course what it's looking like. And again, these are not my maps. These are from the National Weather Service and the Climate Prediction Center. I do not make these in any way, shape, or form. So don't think, oh, I'm making these up as I go along. This is the dry weather for April according to the models here. And it's pretty accurate because obviously we all know how dry it's been this month so far. Next month will probably be just a tad bit better because we could get a little bit of rain the first couple or few weeks of May, but then towards the end we get very dry. By June, we could be talking about a little bit of wet weather for the first week or so, but then it starts getting dry for the majority of June, and then for July, we see extremely dry weather coming back, and then by August, that dry weather stays. By the end of August, middle to the end of August, we could be seeing another wet period, and then by September, we're talking about wicked amounts of rain, with potentially seeing well above average rainfall, with maybe seeing over an inch above average for the whole month of September. So we'll be watching out for that. So essentially, this is a general synopsis on everything. Going back to the radar imagery quickly here. What I think is going to happen: spring at to above average, very dry. Summer at average mostly, unless you live along the coast, and with pretty dry conditions, except towards the middle to the end of the summer, when we could be talking about some pretty intense warm. And then the fall, cool and wet. And then we work our way into the winter, and then we'll have to see what happens with that. But I think at this point in time, above average precipitation and around average temperatures. We'll have to see how that goes out, though. I'll have to see how future climate models look, but for right now, that's what I'm thinking. Stay tuned for more updates. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll be back tomorrow with another one, and take care, everyone. Have a great one.